Greetings, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me here. Um, Before we get started today and move into our sound healing with this beautiful angelic tuned harp today, um, I want to remind you that May 8th is the official date of the last publicly offered Awakened Mind Sacred Telepathy training with me. My life's work, my baby, is getting wings and we'll be moving to a bigger platform. I'm very excited. And so I'd like to offer it to you, my community here, once before it moves into this bigger platform and definitely a much higher price range. I'm offering this personally from my own platform. I'm expecting it to be an intimate event, even though it's being offered online. So that is May 8th from 11 to 2 p.m., 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we set it at that time to make it accessible to everyone on the East Coast and also in other countries. So please join me here. You can pre-register, you can register and get tickets. You can, right now it's only listed on my Facebook. So if you just go to my Facebook, you'll find it there. I would love to have you. The Awakened Mind Telepathy training is where we really learn to differentiate the different quadrants of the brain that we travel to when we do this kind of visionary work. It's incredibly empowering. It will put in your hands the tools that I use to take you to states of bliss through sound, through these sound healings. My goal is to give you as many of my tools as I can in my lifetime, and this is my most powerful product yet. So please join us. So this week I'd like to kind of continue with that thread, that concept of this being the springtime of our lifetime after spending a year in the chrysalis, a year of hibernation, a year of separation, and a year of inner reflection, time to really change and to consider who we are. And I don't think that there's anyone who escaped that process during the year-long events of COVID. Actually, it's a little bit longer than that because we're not yet on the other side of it. As we move back into interaction and society, things are very different. Businesses are becoming open and accessible depending on whether or not you have been vaccinated, and many times there's proof of that vaccination being required, and so immediately there's this separation that wasn't there before, and this will continue. And things are definitely not moving back to the way they were before, where we were in kind of a free flow and went where we wanted, whenever we wanted, regardless of which side of that vaccination fence you're on. Things will be different. So, this week I was talking to one of my amazing teacher friends, Christine Stevens, who I will be in short time will be allowing a video of us jamming together to float out into the world through sacred sound of the soul. So have your eyes open to that. Christine's an amazing teacher, and we were talking about our tools for teaching, and we talked about the importance of us being able to channel our information freely rather than have bullet points or a teleprompter or even a really cohesive plan. And we talked about the difference of that because over the last year especially, so much has been funneled and channeled into being online. Now, when things are getting prepped to go online, they go through a process of bullet points and teleprompters and all of these things that kind of take your curriculum and put it in a box, put it in a structure, which it will then be delivered by. And that's a very respectable thing to do. I bring this up today because I want for not only those who are like me and Christine, who are more powerful in our presentations when we are speaking freely in the moment and channeling, really opening ourselves and allowing information that is beyond our own intellectual capacity to flow through us. So not just for people like us, but for absolutely everyone, and especially those who have been very contained by the usual processes of putting things out online. We get, to the degree that maybe we want to make money from being online, be successful, or be seen from being online, we get looped into this long list of have-tos. There's pre-production, there's post-production, there's tagging and sharing and all of this back-end information that has to be entered. And it turns into what used to be a free-flow exchange of pure inspiration becoming not as present, not as pure. And so I'll give you an example of a great teacher, Michael Beckwith. Michael Beckwith operated Agape in Los Angeles for many decades, and he would draw thousands. He would fill an arena every Sunday, and he would come in to give his wonderful, we'll call it a sermon, a lecture, a talk, a speech, whatever you want to call it. But there would be a rough capsule for the theme of the week, and beyond that, not a word would be planned, because he trusts that the second he steps onto that stage, that he, the man, the person, lets go of the reins, opens his crown, and allows this divine love to pour through him, to enter the crown, to be transformed into accurate words, and to be relayed to the people there in a way that they feel not just a brilliant, bright person in front of them, but they feel the divine flowing through, and it raises them to a higher frequency by being in his presence. And there was a story that Christine told, because she went week after week after week for a long time, and she told the story of the week that the people who were filming him were frustrated because it was difficult. He was moving around too much, and it was difficult to follow him with the cameras. And so they asked him to please stay inside of this specific box, and they taped it out on the floor and said, if you can just stay in that box, then the filming will be perfect. And do you know that all he really could talk about was the box and being in the box? And he would ask, what is it that we're talking? What's the theme again? He couldn't even catch the thread of the theme. And everyone walked away from that week understanding that this was not his greatest performance, his greatest offering, his greatest sharing. In fact, it was one of his weakest while at Agape in this huge arena full of people. So the remedy to that was they brought in new camera people who would work with him and allow him to be free in his space. I want to offer to you over the next week to see in your life where you have been asked to operate within a box and how you limit yourself there. Not just how you're limited by just answering what's asked of you in that box, but also how you're unable to access pure channeled information or your own divine self at any given moment because your thought process is focusing on staying in the box that has been prescribed for you. And see how you can start to widen that box, or even get rid of that box altogether and work in a free manner. One way of doing that is, instead of writing everything out through text and typing and entering it into a computer like a data processor, is to speak your truths, your vision, into a recorder and have someone else scribe it for you. That's just one way. That was a suggestion that Christine Stevens gave me, which I will be implementing as I build out this new wing of my business, moving into a greater, larger platform. As I do that, I will protect my process of connecting with divine information, with my own high self, connecting with source and allowing it to flow authentically and intuitively through me to you. Because God forbid all I give you is what I have intellectually collected along the way. What we have intellectually collected, by the way, is privy to the limitations of our emotional responses. I would not speak half of the things that I do to you if I limited myself in this way. I would be too afraid of what judgment you may have against me, or that I wouldn't fit in with you if I spoke these truths. The amazing thing is that even when I go into one of these sessions terrified of what will be shared and what will come back out of it, when I truly surrender and speak from spirit, from source, from authentic high self, the reaction is always only ever positive. And so will it be for you as well. So, thank you for the listening. And now I'd like to allow the instruments to do the majority of the speaking. As we take that first breath, let's take a cleansing breath today. Take a few deep, full breaths and blow it out as if you're cleansing the area around you. Cleansing your auric field, cleansing the space behind you, between the shoulder blades, the place on your body where that which is not of you can become attached. Take a breath with the intention of cleansing your mind. Cleansing your mind of distractions of this moment. And cleansing your mind of all self-doubt, all self-deprecation. All self-judgment, all self-sabotage. Blow it out. Escort it out into the sunshine to be transformed. And then gently breathe into that new clear space within. Allow yourself to soften into the arms, the wings of the chrysalis that holds you. Allow yourself to soften into that visualization of being fully formed, fully reformed, restructured inside of this chrysalis. Brighter colors, wings at your back, a new body, a new mind, a new way of being and perceiving life. Still resting inside the safety of the chrysalis. Inviting you now for the next minutes of this journey to simply be with that new aspect of you. The larva to the butterfly, being the butterfly, fully formed, yet having yet to show yourself to the world, fully formed just for you to enjoy. Observing within those newly formed, newly born aspects of you, the butterfly, preparing to open your wings. Feeling into those aspects of you that are magic, extraordinary, those aspects of you that were sleeping, dormant, waiting for the moment to awaken. Feeling into those aspects of you that were staying small, staying quiet, waiting for a window of opportunity to finally shine. observing those aspects of you that you know so well, those aspects of you that you keep hidden deep within, those dreams, those visions of you being the full expression of you. Feel how good it feels to allow those parts of yourself to shine, to vibrate, to shake and come alive. Imagining now that that's exactly what happens. You stretch, unfold, unwind, open. And push through the walls of the chrysalis that has held you while you transformed. unfolding, unfurling, unleashing the brightness, the vibrancy of your wings. Taking flight. Discovering anew and maybe for the first time who you truly are without limitation. Soaring to new heights, soaring beyond, far beyond the limitations, the boxes of the past. Imagine now that every time you step into the sun and you feel the warmth, the brightness of the sun, that you remember those wings of infinite possibility at your back. Those wings that are the vibrancy, the true colors of you. And you feel that warmth of the sun, not just on your physical being, but on the wholeness of you. Taking flight with each new day. I leave you here in full flight, full color, full vibrancy, and I can't wait to see where you fly to, because we're all going together. Thank you so much, everyone, as always. So once again, welcoming you to join me on May 8th for the Awakened Mind Sacred Telepathy Training to really empower you with all of the tools of inner sight. It's your birthright. And this is the time in the year. Many blessings, everyone.